everyone, and welcome back to Easy Cooking with Linda B. Today I'm going to make for you my version of a cheeseburger soup. It has been so cold here for the past week, I can't take it. But it's a perfect soup day, and I'm going to show you how I put it all together. Whenever I think of a cheeseburger, I always think about the meat, whether it's a ground beef or a ground sirloin, cheese. What are my favorite toppings? Onions, mushrooms, tomatoes, and peppers, and a few other things. Not all at once though. But I'm going to show you the ingredients that I will be using to make this cheeseburger soup. So I'm going to start out with ground beef. I have about 1/4 pound here because I made this soup a few days ago. And also what I like to include for my toppings, which is going to be a part of the soup, are peppers. These are the little mini peppers that I just cut into rings. Onion. And these are no heat jalapeños. I'm not using pickles, but they have a little bit of a pickle flavor. And these are, like I said, no heat. They're awesome in the soup. Garlic. I always put garlic in my soup, no matter what. And diced tomatoes and mushrooms. Also, I'm going to add a little bit of rosemary that I have chopped here. And I have this really great spice that Bobby and Laura bought for me. And this is what the label looks like. And I'll tell you what the ingredients are. So in this spice is paprika, black pepper, salt, dark brown sugar, garlic powder, onion powder, and cayenne pepper. So if you can't find a spice like this, those are the spices you can use. And also, whenever I make my own cheeseburgers, I always add an A1 sauce, and it's so good. And salt and pepper, and then to make it cheesy, I'm going to use cheddar cheese soup. And I'll show you how I put it all together. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I will add my beef to the pan. Now the pan is warming, and I'm going to break the hamburger up into just chunks. I don't want them crumbly. Okay. And I'm going to mix this up, move it around in the pan because it will start to stick. But what I want to do is I want to extract the oils from this. Now, I think this was an 85-15 ground beef. So there will be some fat, not a lot, but some fat coming out of it. Okay, increase my heat a little bit. So while that is cooking, I also want to add my onions. My onions, I usually do for soups, more of a rustic cut. Okay, get that mixed in. And while I'm mixing it, I will also break up the hamburger just a little bit more because I don't want it too chunky. Okay, so I'm going to give this a couple minutes to cook, and then I will add the garlic and the mushrooms. All right, now my onions are softer. At this point, I will add my garlic, and here I have 3 cloves of garlic minced. I'm going to add tomatoes. Now, I always have tomatoes here in the house. These tomatoes are getting softer, too soft for a sandwich, so it's perfect for this soup. I will take some of it, well actually most of it, and I'm going to reserve some of that for the topping of the soup at the end. Just pour in the juice, hold that aside, get this mixed together. So at this point, I want to increase the heat a little bit more. Every time you add something cold to your pan or pot, it will reduce the heat. so I need to turn it up a little bit. This is a good point now for me to add this spice. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on it now, because I'll taste it a little later just to make sure there's enough, and if not, I can go ahead and add more. So I will shake this up first. There we go. I'll pour about a tablespoon in here, like that. And I use this in my meatloaves too. I love it. It gives it amazing flavor. So at this point, stir that in here too. Get that hamburger coated with that beautiful sauce. This is a very quick soup, by the way, too. I've made this when I've come home from work, and within an hour, or even less, the soup is ready. Doesn't take long at all. And then now I will go ahead and add all my mushrooms. And these are Baby Bella's, one of my favorite mushrooms. I've cut some of the bigger pieces so they're more bite size. And I will also add the peppers. This is going to be a hearty soup. Oh my goodness, it smells wonderful already. And at this point, I will add, what I have here is that fresh dry, it was on its way, rosemary that I just cut. I'm going to put that in here for a little bit of flavor. And some salt and pepper. Okay, now at this point, I want all my ingredients to cook. So I'm going to give it about 10 minutes. I'll check on it and see how close it is to being done before I put in my my cheddar cheese soup. All right, now this soup, well, it's not soup yet, but the ingredients have been cooking for 10 minutes. The liquid is rendering out. The vegetables have become soft. And now what I want to do is add my jalapeños. See, these are already soft. I don't want to put them in too soon, because if I do, they will become mushy. So I will give this a mix. Increase my heat just a little because I turned it down. All right, so this is a good point to add the soup. And I'm going to place it in here. This is going to make it so rich and creamy. This is the best part of the soup. So as you can see, there's still more left in that can, so I will dilute it with a little bit of light cream. Probably noticed that I do work with light cream a lot. Mix this up. Pour that in. And as you can see, it pretty well cleaned out that can. All right, so mix this all together. Now I do have 2 cans. I'm not sure if I want to use 2, but I also want to dilute it because as you can see, it doesn't really look like a soup yet. So what I have also here is some chicken broth. So I'm going to add some of that to the soup. Mix this in. And if I feel like I need to add that other can of soup, I will. See, there's really no rule of thumb when you're making a soup. A soup is what you make it. It's your own. If you want to have more cheese, in this case cheddar cheese broth, you can add that. Or if you want more of a chicken broth, you can add that too. Make it yours. Make it to your liking. Okay, I'm going to increase the heat just a little bit. And here's what I'll do is I'll add a little more cream for creaminess. So I want to take this time to tell you about a couple of my new friends. They're YouTube channel friends. Their names are Peter and Phil. They are Let's Celebrate TV. What I had learned was back in December 17th on their Holiday Memories video, they had featured me, and it was so kind of them. I couldn't believe it. It was so nice to see. And actually today I have requested they featured Cuisine de Michelle, another one of my favorite YouTube friends. And these guys are great. It's a cooking channel, and they've been doing this for about 6 years. Two real gentlemen. Peter does the cooking mostly, and Phil's his sous chef, like my husband. And if you ever have a chance, please stop in and see these guys. They are wonderful. It's called Let's Celebrate TV. All right, off camera, I added the rest of the soup, which is a 14-ounce can of chicken broth. I also added more spice. This stuff is really great. And now, the icing on the cake, so to speak, we are going to add a little of cheese. I like Monterey Jack. It's kind of a mild cheese. It'll mellow out that cheddar cheese flavor. So I'm going to sprinkle some into the soup. Stir it up. As you can see, the soup is thick. You can see all the wonderful vegetables I have in there. Oh, this is going to be so good. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is plate it up, and I'll show you how it all looks. Now it's time to ladle up the soup. Look at all that goodness coming into the bowl there. That is just beautiful. And there's the beef is in here. It did get a little more chopped up than I wanted it, but that's part of the cooking. You can't avoid it. Now, to finish it off, I'm going to top it with just a little bit more cheese. There I go, making a mess again. And some tomatoes. And there it is, cheeseburger soup. So now I'm going to taste it. This is the best part. I can't wait. Here we go. Oh man, It is so good. You get all the flavors blended together. I'm tasting the beef. I'm tasting a little bit of the pickling from the no heat jalapeños. And also the cheese, the cheddar cheese is just outstanding. Another bite. Awesome soup. When you have a chance, make it. You will enjoy it. And remember, you could always add whatever you want to it. Make it your own. So I hope you enjoyed watching me make this cheeseburger soup, my version. And remember, don't forget to stop in to see Peter and Phil at Let's Celebrate TV. Tell them I sent you. And also stop in to see Michelle of Cuisine de Michelle. She's a sweetheart. So I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch my video. And also remember, enjoy life and never stop learning. Bye now.